him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
McGovern, it's time for the only news that matters on Kiss Wednesday. And Kiss originally Mass may have been long gone, but their August 18th, 1987 single, Crazy Crazy Night, seems to suggest the band was trying on a new one. Written by Paul Stanley of Kiss, with assistance from co-writer Adam Mitchell, this song was a clear attempt to emulate the success of newer rock hero Bon Jovi and their ilk, groups that Kiss had in some cases influenced. The result was a slight, undignified feedback loop. Not to say Crazy Crazy Nights was a bad pop song. I'm reading that. I think it's a bad pop song, but this dude doesn't. It was just an any band of the time song. And that wasn't what Kiss fans expected. It all sounded clean, clear, and poppy. But it doesn't sound like Kiss. Yet, Paul Stanley of Kiss and the fellow Kiss mastermind, Gene Simmons, charged gamely ahead. Crazy Crazy Nights is basically just an extension of what we've been doing all along, says Paul Stanley of Kiss. Which is preaching. Yes, folks, we preach. But we preach about having a good time. You know, and the spirit of the track, you know, was about escaping from the workday prison by partying all night. If you hate yourself in the morning, sleep late. Alright, the change in musical direction was blamed on Simmons' growing interest in the fledgling acting career while recording commenced on the singles parent album, Crazy Nights. New producer Ron Nevison stepped in the creative void, having already moved Ozzy Osbourne and Hart toward more contemporary sounds. A big chart success. You know, Paul, to my recollection, wanted to make a different kind of album, Nevison told Kiss Facts. You know, with the success that Bon Jovi was having in writing with Desmond Child and other bands, I had taken Ozzy down that road with the first hit single in years, if ever, Shot in the Dark in 1986, and of course, Heart. Simmons referenced some fake starts as sessions stretched into 2 years. Nevison confirmed that Simmons arrived with 20 songs, but wasn't active in what followed. Meanwhile, Paul Stanley of Kiss was closely following Bon Jovi's success with songs like Living on a Prayer, which was great news for Nevison. I wanted to get Kiss that same level, you know? Instead of selling 500,000 copies to 700,000 copies, which is respectable, especially these days, I wanted to be bigger than that. And, you know, Gene stuff was Gene stuff. And Gene wrote rock stuff. Not commercially ready, but Kiss fans love Gene songs. And Stanley's transformation was completed with a notable shift in his singing style. He said, I actually wasn't that happy with all the keys that Paul chose. He wanted to sing it as high as he could sing, you know, especially on Crazy Crazy Nights with the modulation. He got up there and there was no auto-tune. He wanted it like that, and the songs were written like that and demoed like that. That was the way he wanted to do it. I went along with it, and as far as performance goes, he did a great job. A standing issue 80s video from a standard issued 80s songs like Crazy Crazy Nights was, of course, commissioned. Kiss assembled from a stadium-themed shoot in Los Angeles after 7,000 fans were recruited via radio station KNAC. Most bands are always going around saying, our fans are the greatest, Paul Stanley said. But listen, there are no other bands I know of that can go on the radio and say, we're doing a video. We want you there. And lo and behold, 2 days later, you got a packed arena. And Stanley Simmons, Bruce Kulick, and drummer Eric Carr performed older Kiss favorites for fans between takes at the Olympics Auditorium. Everyone who attended left with the limited edition shirt reading, I went crazy with Kiss. And none of it helped. Crazy Crazy Nights at American record shops as a single stalled at number 65 on the Billboard 100. Still, it became the biggest hit in the UK and part of Europe. You know, Simmons said, we see a lot of good times ahead. You know, Simmons said that before the launch of Crazy Crazy Nights. And by the time they released the next album, 1989's fitfully successful return to guitar rock. What the hell? Hot in the Shade, really? Successful return to guitar rock? Kiss had changed their mind. They hired a new manager in Larry Mazer on the premise of bringing back Simmons' rock values, then began incorporating more classic era songs on stage. Next, they'd record 92's Revenge, a well-regarded comeback album that finally placed this crazy, crazy period in the rearview mirror. Yeah, because Revenge, they called the album Revenge because it's getting revenge on people that didn't like Crazy Crazy Nights. So let's do an album that doesn't sound like Crazy Crazy Nights and get revenge on the people. How retarded is that? As far as like Kiss chasing the trend, trying to be Bon Jovi, I mean, I can say this, and yes, it'll probably start like some, you know, debates and stuff, but I think Kiss started chasing trends on the first album. The first album was very influenced by, they were into Slade and Mata Hoople and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. So they were kind of going that angle, and then when disco became famous, well shit, even before disco, when you had Rod Stewart, you know, Paul Stanley wrote a song that's very Rod Stewart like on Hard Luck Woman. And then the disco, I Was Made for Loving You, with disco was big. Then when Pink Floyd The Wall exploded, they did The Elder. And then they went more metal, because, you know, they should have gone more metal before that. But, you know, they're seeing Unmasked and The Elder totally flop in the States. They were like, man, we got to do a metal album. And that's when they started doing metal. And then you have Lick It Up, which has a song that has rap in it, you know? So they're chasing metal and rap on one tune. And then, and then Motley Crue's Theater Pain got all glammed out. And they were like, let's get even more glammy. And they got like the glittery gloves and stuff for Asylum. You know, that was all them chasing Motley Crue. And then chasing Bon Jovi on this album. And then the next album, you know, they were doing, like, it starts like the Cinderella album, Long Cold Winter, with some bluesy acoustic stuff. And then Revenge. Well, I can't say Revenge. I think right there is where it stopped. They stopped chasing trend. No, that's wrong. What about Carnival of Souls? That was a total chase trends of grunge. And then after that, it kind of stopped, because I'm not a fan of Sonic Boom, but in Sonic Boom, they were trying to recreate the 70s Kiss. And I don't know, it just didn't work for me. And then their follow-up, Monster, you know, they were just being themselves. And I really do love most that album. I thought Monster kicked ass. So there wasn't really chase trending toward the end of Kiss's career. But yeah, I mean, I think from the first album all the way up to Hot in the Shade was, you know, they just chased trends the whole time. And I liked it when they chased trends. I don't know, well, other than the Bon Jovi, because I don't like Bon Jovi. So you're going to try to be Bon Jovi, ain't going to work. I did love Asylum a lot, but I didn't like the look. You know, I thought that was the trend chasing part of that. But also, you know, the music on Asylum, you had like Any Way You Slice It, Love's a Deadly Weapon, you know, trying to get like sleazy and stuff like Motley Crue. Even though they were sleazy in the 70s, it was, you know, the look and the, you know, let's fuck type songs, you know, fuck me, suck me type songs. It was totally Motley Crue. But anyway, I'm a Kiss fan. I love a lot of the Chase trending. I love the disco Kiss. I love the Pink Floyd Kiss. You know, I love the rap Kiss. I love the metal Kiss. You know, it was until Crazy Nights they just lost me. You know, all the way, I didn't like anything after Asylum except for Monster, really. You know, Carnival of Souls had its moments. But anyway, that's it for the only news that matters. What do you all think of Kiss chasing the trend, trying to be Bon Jovi on that Crazy Nights album? I personally like the Gene songs more on Crazy Nights than Paul's, and I don't really like the Gene songs on there. It's the worst Kiss album if you ask me. But anyway, thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell. I would totally appreciate that. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.